Sagittarius, hello and welcome to your reading for the week of August 24th through to the 31st. So let's get started with the Salvador Dali Tarot. I want to shake things up. You guys have your sun sign, your planetary ruler of Jupiter in the opposite sign of Gemini. So far we have the Nine of Cups and the Four of Swords. It feels like you guys either got clear about what you want to happen in your life as far as what you're manifesting, and that Four of Swords is indicating that it's time to decree it and then let it go, to let it rest. We have the Ace of Pentacles. The World card is just popping out to say hello. And what's our final card? The Queen of Swords. I have the feeling that Sagittarius, with these decrees, with these intentions that you set, you're no longer taking no for an answer. And it's very powerful. Like when Sagittarius signs themselves up to be a leader and to really show what they mean by doing it, they not only course correct for everybody else, but they establish a new wave, because Jupiter is the oldest planet. It represents Zeus in the zodiac. With this Nine of Cups, deep sea diving, way of the mystic, learn through experiencing and depths. I sense that Sagittarius, because you guys are going to have to get clear on your intentions, your motivations, your reasons, and in this card, the Dali card, there's the ancestors drawn very loosely on either side of this woman with the paper and a decree. And there's a cup that does need filling. It's in the middle of this card. I'm going to have to go deeper into what it means exactly, but this person is fully capable of honoring both of her sides of the lineage. And it seems that you guys are going to have to go very deep within yourself to fill that cup, that ancient cup, and maybe overflow it to where it could fill up all the other nine. And I know that the card suggests that you write things out that you would like to happen for the next 9 days, 9 weeks, 9 months, 9 years. And starting on September 2nd, I'm going to have a live 10-day manifestation miracle course. So for those of my subscribers, hit the bell so that you're notified. And those of you all just joining this for the Sagittarius reading, join my channel, subscribe, and hit that bell so that we can manifest something amazing together. I'm doing a little run through right now, and I've been off with the 40 days of self-love and ascension with Sirius Joy. And I am actually, I kind of got into this situation every year to where if it wasn't something super specific from the start, I didn't really understand what the inner goal and the outer goals were. I got lost along the way. So what jump-started me was my interview with April Sparks of Minnow Pond Tarot. So I will be implementing something that she discovered that channel with, and that she has been doing since, to manifest greatness in her life. And it feels like if you guys are going to call upon this energy of the Nine of Cups and go into that deep sea diving, the Five of Water was still out for my last reading. So it feels like there are two cups. There is your cup and another cup that's still standing, but we don't want to cry over the spilled milk of maybe not having had met our ancestors' desires, expectations for us, those projections put on us. And with Jupiter in our sign, I feel like it's just that much more important that you guys honor who you are and what you have to offer the world, because it's going to look different than what might have ever been offered before. You guys have the capacity to get into that clarity because you have your ruling planet Jupiter in an opposite sign, indicating that you guys are leveling up. You guys are coming into a new sense of balance and mastery, trajectory of that focus and that discernment between what you think and what you know, and allowing what you think to be stemming from this place of inner wisdom, inner knowledge that is informed by your lineage, that is informed by your ancestors who are healed ancestors, by your spirit team, by the ascended realm. Cosmic Ocean with the Four of Swords. It's funny how these cards are both like this dreamy, laid-back energy. So there seems maybe to be a merging of your own divine feminine and divine masculine energy set. And let me read about what the Four of Swords has to say. I'm curious now. The picture on this card picks up on a motif from the tarot deck by Rider-Waite. It shows the detail of the painting, The Death of Marat, one of the great radicals of the French Revolution. Marat's life came to a violent end. This particular scene warns of the dangers of hypnotic effect of ideas and fanaticism in general, which turn people into martyrs and into politically or religiously motivated criminals. The serpent to the right is an ambiguous symbol. On the one hand, it tells you to be aware of your base drives and animal instincts. On the other, it's a symbol for wisdom or for transmuting this energy of needing to be a martyr. Drawing on the 4 points of the compass, 4 swords represent the completeness of the weapons of the mind. Thoughts and ideas form a composite whole. Ideally, your thoughts ought to be well-rounded. They ought to complement and inspire one another as a sign of wisdom and expanded consciousness. And 4 bubbles manifest reality. And it's interesting, that is the logo for Mercedes, but it's also one of the symbols for certain sects of Buddhism and for certain monks. My husband and I saw a monastery in Australia that had that same symbol, and we drove past a Mercedes, and I was like, I think that they borrowed from Mercedes, or vice versa. I think that the Mercedes brand borrowed from this wisdom of the ancients. In less ideal circumstances, unmitigated thought manifests itself into a disastrous conviction that can only lead to dire consequences. Then you will become a victim or a perpetrator, a fundamentalist or a martyr. There is not just a very real danger to life and limb, as in the case of Jean-Paul Marat. In a metaphorical sense, you are warned against human and spiritual bleakness when convictions become and conventions become more important than love or life. So conventional thinking isn't going to serve us right now, Sag. We have cosmic ocean. So it's saying that you are coming into this ability, I think, to see. This looks like a seer. It looks like someone who is fully engaged with the potential of life. And for those of you all who have read Doom by Frank Herbert, the spice would actually take people into visions of potential trajectories. So those nine cups with a deep sea diving is saying to dive deep into what you want out of life, Sagittarius, and not to be a martyr for someone else's cause, but to really show up on your own as an individual with an ability to join the group fully formed. That Black Moon Lilith transit in Libra is just asking us to reclaim that scale. I sense that the 1.0 Libra is, let's balance each other out on my scale, give and receive. But Libra 2.0 is like, I have my own scale. Where's your scale? Bring your scale so that we can see whose heart is lighter than a feather, because not everyone can play. Not everyone needs to be on the seesaw of life. We can honor the fact that our heart has to be lighter than a feather because we choose to move towards love rather than this need to fulfill an obligation for someone else. It's like that schlepping the ancestral boulder up that mountain of Prometheus, and that's where the Chiron wound can come in. I want I said Gemini, but I meant Sagittarius. I want my Sagittariuses to honor that Chiron is in your 5th house right now. So you do have some tough nuts to crack. You do have to get past this false dichotomy in your thinking. Making waves. Momentum is building into your time and achievement with this Ace of Pentacles. And remember, we go from the 9 of Cups to the Queen of Swords. So it's like by the end of this week, you guys will have come through Jupiter and Mars at 22 degrees Gemini to 27. So it's going to move 5 degrees. You're going to have a new mercurial energy to your thoughts and how you take action, how you get what you want in the world, the energy of the masculine that you're attracting, and perhaps it's a creative project that you are gaining a system with or a sense of support that's not judgmental, that isn't allowing for you to keep your waves in the kiddie pool, but you can make waves in the world. You could do big things because you are birthing something that is fresh. It's new. It's of this ancestor. Your ancestors would be proud, but it's nothing that they would want of you. They wouldn't even know how to think that way because they're confounded potentially to this false dichotomy. Okay, with the World card that was at the bottom of the deck underlying the situation, there's some nasty stuff that we have to leave behind as we're ascending. We have the Water Oracle, psychic abilities, acting on visions, it's destined. And once we allow for this world to see itself, or maybe the things that, these are the 3 fates, things that we're hiding. With this full moon in Aquarius, it electrocuted the Uranian aspect at 27 degrees Taurus. And I think it opened us up to see things more clearly, maybe those around us who are seers, who we might have misjudged, who we might have seen them, but we weren't looking. And now we're coming to an understanding of either a Queen of Swords in our life, or that we have the ability to speak with a new clarity because of this Mercury retrograde that is in the next house for you. That's your ruling house is Leo. Sag, all of your thoughts have to come from the heart. Otherwise, they're not going to be clear. They're going to be projections. They're going to be a part of this Four of Swords energy, this stuckness, this, look at this. We got the ripple effect and Lady of the Lake. So, look, the Lady of the Lake has a sword. I think she was a part of the King Arthur story. New beginnings, something's about to happen, and part of something bigger, details are taken care of. And I love that this has this double being, which is like the butterfly effect. If you guys have seen that movie, it's amazing. Ashton Kutcher's in it. But it speaks to like this theory that the flap of a butterfly wing can alter events radically. But butterflies represent creativity when we get down to it. So you even taking the time to get still and clear on your desired outcomes, your own deep sea diving, getting to your heart's desires, not what's been projected onto you, what's already been said and done, so that you can get that go ahead, but to stand and say, you know what, I'm coming into mastery. I'm allowing for the ugly truth to reveal itself, and I'm not going to hide it anymore. Let's see what this World card has to say. It's Major Arcana. If it is your task and your strength to step forward and show yourself, the way you live in this world will determine what the world is in reciprocal relationship. Use your time on earth wisely to enjoy your stay here. Resolution of contradictions. This is so Age of Aquarius, it's not even funny, which is why there's that Taurian glyph there to let us know that this is indeed what has needed to usher in the Age of Aquarius, where we are so telepathic and we feel the feelings of others, but we aren't lending excuses. We're not saying, oh, this is permissible when it's not. We're actually saying, okay, we gotta, you know, jerk the chain back and, you know, put that cube back in the earth if it starts acting up. But it feels like the fates actually end up freeing themselves. Let's read this card to discover more. This card is linked to the image of the chariot. The frame at the center of the composition is reused as a motif indicative of a kind of cage. Furthermore, the world also refers to the content of the devil card, the vampire, our boogeyman, and the prodigal son as symbols of the taboos that could be rediscovered in the big black being, which is imprisoned and seems to be weeping. This could even be Black Moon Lilith saying, be independent. Take that scale back. Make sure that you are only using your scale to assess where your heart is. You're not weighing your heart against another heart. We have to have our heart against a feather and then move towards that lightness of being. This card seems to convey the pessimistic message that evil always puts the righteous in chains and will eventually triumph. But an alternative reading is possible. The three graces, and with them faith, love, and hope, will help the world to advance. On long leashes, they pull up this dark and fiery creature from the depths of the earth to emerge at the surface. Humanity has not just descended from heaven to earth like angels, but is also a product of a long evolution. On every cycle of and I would even say that that's the precession of the equinox, because I don't think all of us came here through human seed. I think some of us were dropped off by the sidereal star beings. This is where sidereal for me comes in, is like, if you've read Tolkien, I'm a big Tolkien fan if you can't tell by now. Once the elves left Middle Earth and it was the Age of Man, they kept an eye on Earth because it's beautiful. I found images on Twitter taken from space looking at Earth, and Earth looks like this diamond. It's so gorgeous. So they've sent beings down to help with the dawn of man, because elves and man always human came together. And the sidereal serpent just represents this kundalini energy of two serpents, and I feel that souls might be sent at that time. It's still Scorpio season, but that would be the time when the veil is very thin anyways, so the souls can arrive to the families that they're meant to incarnate into. But those people are usually the black sheep of the family. Raise your hand if you're the black sheep of your family and working through ancestral intentions placed and projected upon you, Sag. On every level of our development as humans, we are called upon to deal with our heritage. It comes up again. Although we never cease to discover dangerous traits in ourselves and others, we also constantly discover new, hitherto unknown areas for growth. In a positive sense, the ropes or chains represent our dependency on time and space. Our individual existence is bound to the existence of all others. We have inherited the earth from our parents and merely borrowed it from our children. We should not jeopardize this inheritance. So we have to be stewards of the earth. We have to be stewards of our life. Let's get a goddess power card to see which goddess is coming through to say, you know, use this Queen of Swords energy to wield your sword and to put into motion things that you want to see come to being. That mastery of yourself that you're attaining with Jupiter and Gemini. I'm just looking at it on Jupiter day, funny enough, with Jupiter at 17 degrees Gemini and Mars at 21 degrees Gemini. We have Morgan, Death and Magic, and Metis, which is wisdom. Feels very pertinent. The Death and Magic. She's got a huge moon tattooed on her face if she's not if she's not clear enough. Let's see what they have to say. And on that day, on Jupiter day, let's look at it, the 22nd. Oh, we're behind. That's where Mars and Jupiter and Gemini were. So let's go a week in advance. Okay, so Jupiter is at 18 degrees Gemini come the 29th of August, and Mars is at 25 degrees Gemini. The empowerment message: consider your life a magical gift and your experience of it a beautiful opportunity to leave the world a better place. You give that gift back when death comes and ends your time on this plane. That's very much the world card energy. Experiences, relationships, projects, and even long cherished dreams are all subject to the natural laws of death and the magic of the Celtic goddess Morgan. Now is the time for you to let certain parts, Now is the time for you to let certain parts of yourself die and recognize this process as something to celebrate as well as to mourn. Let go with love and gratitude. Leave your fears behind. For in death there is great magic and nothing can ever truly be destroyed. From the ashes of the old, a new life and new dreams will come to be. Face this time of dying and death with love and courage. Be willing to be empty. Soon the goddess Morgan will fill you up with magic and a new world will be born for you. This is her gift for you when you surrender your resistance and allow things to be as they are. And then with her came Metis, the empowerment message. Experience woven together with knowledge creates a beautiful thing, wisdom. That's that 3rd and 9th house energy that you guys are balancing out now. Its parts are entwined like a finely made rope that is so strong it can't be cut. Wisdom once earned becomes an essential part of you. Right now, the Greek goddess of wisdom, Metis, says you know exactly what to do in your current circumstances. The real question is, do you have the courage and commitment to make a wise choice? Your answer is not to hide. You are being invited to look within rather than without, to take the wisdom you already have and apply it to your question. Perhaps, however, you must instead draw forth the humility to find someone wiser to weigh in. In this powerful time, others may seek you out for your wisdom. This is also an auspicious period when new relationships are founded on deep truths shared with others. You are entering a potent period of your life to share all that you are and all that you have learned. Extraordinary things are possible when the goddess Metis reminds you of your wisdom and the need to express it. That is so amazing. The Rose Oracle wants to give us this final card to wrap up our reading, Sag. All right, Rose Oracle, what does Sagittarius need to know? Of course, now Mary Magdalene's coming in. Codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. And Mary Magdalene, Mystique Oracle, she's like, hey, come on. That's interesting. Magdal Edgar, listen to elder wisdom. There we go. So Sagittarius, find a mentor. If not a virtual one, like someone who channels. Maybe you need to work with Mary Magdalene and get some insight from her from a few channelers. Krista Marie Miller is a channel. She has read the Gospel of Mary Magdalene on YouTube. You could find it. Otherwise, find someone locally who is a wise elder that can help you unlock the next step of your vision for yourself, your life, and your time on this earth. Let whatever is going go, and let whatever is being birthed in its place Be fertilely planted, Sagittarius. I will see you in our weekly astrology. Subscribe if you would like to join in on the fun with the 10-day miracle manifestation course. And also, please hit that bell so that you're notified, so that when I go live, you all can take part in this. It's a timeless recording, so whenever you get to it, you get to it. Until next time, Sag, have an amazing week. Aloha.